Welcome to the final installment of the FooCept Mimic Demons. If you haven't seen the previous two videos on this original concept, please click the links in the description or the card on screen to get caught up to date with what it's all about. Today, we will be exploring what the Mimic Sentinels have to offer. Their name is FooSarr, by the way, and I hope you're well. Always remember that FooCept is a series where I create an original idea from either limited material or none at all, and if you wish to expand or edit on what I create in these videos, that's okay, so long as there is clear credit given to myself and any other contributing creators. All you need to know about the Mimic is that it can transform into anything aside from bosses, spirits, or itself, and it deals 50% less damage compared to the original demon and can be killed with one ballista shot and a shotgun blast, having the health set between an imp and a caco demon. New for the FooCept series is lore. I'm not particularly knowledgeable with Doom lore and its ins and outs, but for you, the Doom community that has been nothing but kind to me and my outlandish ideas, I will try and learn all that I can. If you'd like to skip to the main content of the video, there is always chapters in all of my videos, so please skip to what interests you most. The Mimic Demons were once human and worked for the UAC before their corruption. A group of people within the UAC's research team decided to create a suit that would allow safe travel to and from hell. It would do this by disguising you as a demon. While the suit worked, upon using it for the first time, the demonic energy required to disguise was too much and their bodies became corrupted by hell's influence and thus became demons. Since then, the UAC decided to perform this experiment to unwilling subjects to various degrees in the name of science. However, their unethical practices stopped once they ran out of demonic energy. Having lost their minds to demonic energy, the suits remain incomplete and the Mimic Demons can never perfectly mimic anything, hence why they're weaker in battle. They are now used to gain information for Hell's forces and are only used when needed. Now, having just one Sentinel would be boring, so today I won't just treat you with lore, but I will also give you 4 new Mimic Sentinels to fight. They will all act differently from one another, because they're all mimicking a Sentinel. This means that this FooCept adds new Sentinel ranks to Doom Eternal 2, so you're really getting it all today, my Foo fans. Starting with the first of the 4, the Sentinel Blademaster. It would be a fast and aggressive melee unit that would dash twice the same as the Slayer. Because the Blademaster would be bringing a sword to a gunfight, there is a level of skill present in their training unlike other Sentinels, which is why they are able to not only combo attacks against you, but also channel a few elements too. If you are within melee range and the Sentinel Blademaster hits you twice in rapid succession, there is a 100% chance that they will continue to complete a finisher attack, which will channel an element with an AoE blast through their blade. The Blademaster can only use 3 elements: fire, ice, and energy, each either setting the Slayer on fire, dealing afterburn damage for a short time, slowing the movement speed and firing speed for a short time, or dealing power surge to the Slayer. For a greater look into elements in my FooCepts, please watch my Elemental Spirits video. It goes over it in a lot more detail. To defeat the Blademaster, you will need to give it all you got. A rapid fire weapon will slow their movement by 50%. However, they are heavily armored, so you may need to blood punch the armor off to deal real damage first, as when they have the armor on, they will take a 70% reduction to all damage. Now we have the Sentinel Guard, the most basic of the 4. It would support an Argent Spear and a combat shotgun with the full auto weapon mod equipped. The Sentinel Guard would have little health and charge at you with their spear, or in very rare instances, throw it. They would also be able to shoot you with their shotguns, and if you're unlucky, it may just unload an entire clip with the full auto too. Defeating them is as easy as killing an imp, so they're not much of an issue. Unlike the zombie or imp, the Mimic Sentinel Guard will chase you at a moderate pace around the arena, rarely stopping for a breather. From one extreme to the other, we have the Sentinel Ranger. Straight out of the boomer shooter era, the Sentinel Ranger comes in rocket jumping using its ballista to move great distances. It would have 2 weapon mods available, therefore 2 types of attacks. The first is the Destroyer Blade, which would work the exact same as your own, charge it to the count of 3, and fire when you're ready, unleashing a powerful wave of death. Right before it's about to fire, there will be a brief flash of green where you can stun the Sentinel Ranger. As for its second attack, you wish you had it. Just like the Destroyer Blade weapon mod, the Sentinel Ranger would have another charged attack that could be stunned. And it's themed after the most worshipped and highly praised Unmaker. The ballista, after charging to the count of 3, will fire 9 spread shot bursts of plasma in an array of 3s. It would look something like this animation here on screen. As mentioned before, both of these attacks can stun the Sentinel Ranger, allowing you to deal additional damage without competition. Now we end with a bang. The super heavy Sentinel Brute. Being in a similar rank to Commander Valen, the Brute will be heavily armored, more so than the Blademaster and the Ranger. It would not be able to dash while armored, and would take a 98% reduction in damage while armored too. To remove the armor, you must blood punch the Sentinel Brute in the front and then the behind, shattering off the armor completely. Or using your own Sentinel Hammer, you can instantly break the entire armor off. The Sentinel Brute would have a Sentinel Hammer and use it to its fullest. In melee range, it would swing it in the air and slam it down near you, causing you to suffer a movement decrease for a few seconds. And it would also knock you bluntly with it in melee range too. At a distance is where the Brute becomes scary. It will have the ability to create shockwaves, much like the Ogre Demon FooCept, however, only in one direction. They would stun the Slayer and decrease movement speed for a few seconds. The Brute would also be able to jump into the air and create a blast with the Sentinel Hammer upon landing too. Unlike yourself, the higher the drop, the more damage the AoE blast does from their Sentinel Hammer. This means if they're very high up and they perform that attack straight onto you, it very well could have a 5 times damage multiplier. So always be looking up. Breaking the armor allows the Sentinel Brute to take 100% damage from all weapons, as well as attack 2 times faster and dash twice like yourself. It would also dodge all lock-on attacks when unarmored, and when frozen with the ice grenades, the Brute will take 2 times damage. Something I wanted to add before the Mimic trilogy of videos concludes is a bonus from a loyal Foo fan. It's always fun and exciting to see what everyone else thinks of these ideas and even ways to expand on them, and this Foo fan was no different. They mention an addition to the Mimic's arsenal, a new form with new opportunities, so welcome everyone to FanCept. It's like FooCept, but by you, the Foo fans. Before I continue, I want to reiterate this is not my idea, it belongs to this Foo fan, and with that being said, the Mimic Demon would also be able to disguise as the UAC and ARC members, utilizing their army and soldiers as form changes too. It would be the only chance you'd get as the Slayer to ever know what it would be like to come against one of these Marines in a one-on-one and truly see how they fare against yourself. With that said, the Mimic's rules apply with a 50% damage reduction while disguised, so it's not a true representation of what they'd be like to fight one-on-one, but maybe one day the UAC will actively try and hunt down the Slayer, perhaps in Doom 6. This Foo fan also mentions about the Mimics turning into mechs, and while I think it would be cool to fight an entire mech randomly in an arena, I don't think the Mimic should turn into a whole vehicle. But who's to say, for a secret encounter, that a Mimic can't spawn and turn into a UAC member and pilot a mech to fight you? Let me know what you think in the comments, how a fight between a Mimic inside of an ARC or UAC mech against the Slayer would go. Would you want to experience that one-on-one? I know I sure would. All these ideas for Sentinels are great, but if only I had a way to use them for more than just the Mimic Demon. That's it for the Mimic trilogy of videos. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you think of the 4 Sentinel ideas too. The name is FooSarr, don't you ever forget it, and stay creative. Oh, and if you don't mind, of course, You should share my FooCepts on Doom forums too. The more talk about it, the more likely someone is to make a mod. Or, you know, even id Software might hear about it, which would be really cool. Thank you for watching.